I'm going to try and demonstrate for a beginner how to throw some of that. Before I begin, I just want to explain certain things to you. The clay is soft, and yet when you're a beginner, I've experienced this myself, when you're a beginner, the clay tends to dominate you. So I'm going to demonstrate to you that you dominate the clay. Sometimes the hands are going to use equal pressure, but most of the time one is dominant and one is passive. This could be dominant and this could be passive. They interchange. Sometimes they use, as I say, they use equal pressure. That's not too often, but you will be doing that. The other thing I want to explain to you is this. Water is your greatest friend. It's also your worst enemy. Too much water and the clay just absorbs it and collapses, especially when you get to bigger, larger weights of clay than these small lumps. So get used to using the minimum amount of water. Your other great asset in this is not just water, but slurry. The slurry is what comes off a pot when you're throwing, and it's combined with water. It's a substitute for water combined with water. It's almost like a grease, if you like, and it assists in allows you to work on a pot for longer, especially when you get to bigger pots. Slurry is really good. As I say, minimum amount of water. Slurry prepared. Right. Centering. Right. The wheel head is dry. I'll just clean it so you can see it better. And all I've done is just dip my fingers in the water and wet them a little bit. That's it. That's it. That's it. Don't aim to throw dead center, you won't. That's nowhere near dead center. A casual throw, I usually throw it a bit better than that, but all you do is slide it across. Now it's inside these concentric circles that are cut into the wheel head, but it's still not centered. Now what I'm going to do, if you divide the wheel head into a clock, I am going to push, there's 12 o'clock. Oh, sorry, beg your pardon. There's 12 o'clock. I am going to push approximately about 7 minutes past 12 with this hand. This hand will be locked onto my thigh, so you can't push it, you can't move it, it's immobile. No great strength, there's no great strength in this. That clay is very soft. You can look how soft it is. But when you're a beginner, the clay tends to dominate you, not you, the clay. This part of the hand here will push towards 7 o'clock. Before I do any of this, though, I'm going to seal this to the wheel head. And as I explained earlier, this is one of the few occasions when both hands will be working together. I'm going to seal it to the wheel head by compressing the clay together about 10 millimeters from the wheel head and both hands. So the lower part of the hand is going to be 10 millimeters off the wheel head, cramping together. Then, once it's cramped together, it's then going to both hands at the same time, using this part of the hand and this part of the hand, are going to seal it to the wheel head. I'm going to use a reasonably fast speed to do this. Right, clamping together, about 10 mil above the wheel head. Now that might appear sealed to you to the wheel head, but it's not to my satisfaction. So now I've clamped it together using this part of the hand. I'm now going to seal it to the wheel head using this part of the hand by clamping and down. Clamping, down, done. That's it, it's sealed. Use any moisture that's on the wheel head to moisture your hands. So you see the slurry is getting there already? Bit of water, bit of closed. And all I'm going to do now is cone it up. Once these two hands are clamping like this and squeezing together, the clay can't go anywhere but up. I'll cone it again from there. Just steady. And that's as high as I'm going to go. You can knock it off. You can easily grab it back, one hand, and go down. But you people are beginners, so we won't do that. So we go up like this. All right. And to go down, this is where we become dominant, passive. Passive hand just rests on the clay. These two hands are like in a dance, working together. This is the dominant hand for now. Exaggerated, that's the angle. I go down about this angle, but you should be tilted, yeah, this part of the hand. And inside there, I go down at that angle. Notice I'm sort of pushing this off at the same time. I'm pushing it, this hand slightly towards 7 minutes past. Slightly. Bring it up again. Exaggerated. This part of the hand here. This is just passive, really, gentle. Just a little bit of moisture. Don't need any water, just moisture. Down we go. Note the angle of this hand now. It's actually gone down as I get near the bottom. Then I flatten this out. Right. Bring it up again. Don't need to bring it up as high. Bring it down again. Use the wheel head, a bit of moisture, take the excess clay off your hands, put it in here, use it for later. Down she goes. Remember, this is a cylinder, not a mug or a beaker, just a cylinder. If you can see behind me, all those pots are cylinders. Right. Excess clay off, water off, yeah. Now, to make it the opening, you've got a crook in your thumb. This is me. People use other methods. This is me. Crook in your thumb. That creates a crater. Right. Now I'm going to plunge this thumb down to within 10 millimeters of the wheel head. Drag it parallel with the wheel head. Across and into the palm of my hand. So down into the palm of my hand. Not touching the palm though, not touching. And what I'll end up with is a big lump of clay here that's not on the bottom, which is very good. You want the clay more up than down. So the wheel, I go parallel to the wheel head, passive, parallel to the wheel head, the thumb will go down. It'll aim for 10 millimeters. But I usually make it a bit thicker on the first insertion. So down you go. I'm estimating now that's thick enough. I go across my thumb to my palm. There we are. Thumb's gone down and to my palm. That's way too thick for what I want, so I'm going to go down again. Don't worry about going down a few times. It's all part of learning. Take the excess clay off the wheel head. Just put the grease, as we say, a bit of water, a bit of grease, and that's it. Remember, water is when you're doing bigger pots, and little pots as well. It can be a nuisance, too much. Right, I think I'm happy with that. Now, what I've got to talk about now is, because your fingers are longer, human beings' fingers are different lengths, what you need to do is shorten them, like so. Shorten them like so. Sometimes, though, you'll only use 2 of these fingers. Like my habit is to use 2 fingers inside a small, narrow pot. If it was a bigger pot, I'd use 3 fingers, sometimes 4. The same on the outside. Sometimes I use 1 finger to make a groove, and then 2 or 3 fingers to bring it up. What you have to remember is the inside hand, when you're lifting the clay, when you're raising clay, is higher than the outside hand. Basically, the pot is sitting on these, if you like, the fingerprints. You make the groove and lift with the fingerprints. The inside hand fingerprints, whether it's 2 or 3 fingers, are above the fingerprints on the outside. Like a shell. Right. I've also left this thick because that saves me bringing it up. It's already there because my thumb has allowed that. So I've made my groove, taken the excess clay off, inside. Now I'm going to cone this like an inverted cone because it's easier for the clay to go out than it is to go in. So I aim to keep this as an exaggerated, as an inverted cone. Right. Outside hand is dominant, inside hand is passive. Fingerprints on the inside are assisting the fingerprints on the outside. Only the fingerprints on the inside are higher. So I'm lifting like this. Note how the fingers are bent to achieve level. Same on the outside. Fingers are bent. Again. Try and minimize your water usage. Right, now because this is narrow and my hand is wide, I choose to use these fingers. I make them level to get this one out the way. I make these level. These are going to lift on the inside, fingerprints, and on the outside I will make a groove, made a groove. There's my groove. Right. This one's out the way. These are level. Groove. Fingerprints lifting inside, lifting onto outside. Inside lifting onto outside. And there we are. Second pull. Second pull. Now remember, your fingers are your eyes. Your fingers can feel a micron of hair, so they're talking to you. You don't need to see what's going on, your fingers are talking to you. Groove. Now because this is getting taller, the hand has got to go inside. Again cramped, but only 2 fingers doing the work. Fingerprints, groove, whole hand goes in, groove, lift. Fingerprints on the inside. Third pull. Really that's it, basically all I do now is because if you're lifting a pot off like this, it's because it's all this grease as I call it, slurry, it's grease. All this grease as I call it will make it difficult to lift off. So I take the grease off. That's it. Remember, this is not a mug or a beaker, so I'm not concentrating on making that lip passable for somebody to put to their mouth. I'm just going to leave it as it is. Again, one more clean up. Right, now I will take there's a smidgen, just a smidgen of water in the bottom. You don't leave water in the bottom of pots. It'll end up cracking in the kiln. You always take the water out. And there's virtually nothing, virtually minimum amount in there, but you take it out anyway. And just straighten it up. Oops, easy. Right, now, what you do now is you get yourself a tool like this with just an old piece of hardwood, very thin. I had this for about 30 years. Cut it at 45 degrees, then use chamfer it. And that'll do you for the rest of your throwing life. Right, I pick a spot here. Right, and with the point, just dab it a bit of moisture till it touches the wheel head, like so. Take off any bits of clay, reverse the point, there's the moisture, and that's it. Alright, just smooth it off. Like I say, it's only a cylinder, so it's nothing of any, you know, this is not for utility, this is just for learning. My teacher told me you've got to throw 10,000 of these before you get any good. I didn't think that was right, but I think they were actually. But interesting. Now, I'm going to try and attempt to take it off. I usually throw with a clay pad on the wheel, and I've got many bats. I put the clay pad on the board on the clay pad and just lift the board off. I don't usually throw if I'm throwing mugs or beakers. I don't usually throw on the wheel head. I usually use bats anyway. This is how I get it off. Smidgen of water. There we go. Clean line. Bring it through. Turn it 90, roughly 90. But a smidgen of water. Right, now turn it again, clean water, bring it towards me. Oops, slipped out my hand. Right, now it's moved and that should come off. It's just, this is where that's slurry. Handy. There we are. Off she comes. There we go. Now, take that off. Don't waste it. Put it back in there. Right. Let's see how that looks like on the computer.